Cerebro was developed by many hours-long conversations between me, Brian Singer, Stephen Rosenbaum, supervisor here at Cinesci, and quite a few of the Cinesci crew, Lubo Christoph is an art director here, trying to come up with a conception of what Cerebro looks like when those walls fall away. How do the walls fall away? And then when they fall away, what do we see out there, and how do we see it? How does it turn on and off? And how far can we see? And what happens in between? Because we're seeing infinitely deep. How much depth can we build into the shots?
The problems with that environment is this big spherical space, and you see a map of the world essentially, and you see people on points of the map, spread across points on the map. What we wanted to do is make it dimensional, bring out some depth into the space between where Xavier is in the center of this spherical room, and reach out towards these people that are projecting off the surface of the map.
It's virtually all digital. All the atmosphere, all the effects you see in Cerebro, most of that stuff is all three-dimensional CG. The atmosphere and the rays and a number of the other things that are happening are all volumetric, so you get a real sense of distance as you look down. Light that moves affects the volume of the particles. And there's a huge. I like to say that this show is really about particles. Particle animation is a very powerful tool in CG, and on this film, virtually every effect uses particle animation in some way.
My name is David Satchel, and I'm a CG supervisor on the Cerebro sequence, which comprised of 80 shots and about 20 people helping out in the sequence. And I'm going to take you through some of the shots here. So this is a previs shot, which was the very first part of the shot generation, which is just to get the camera move and what's happening within it. This is part of the Cerebro effect, where there's a lot of people represented within this space, and Xavier is trying to find mutants in it. And this can also, I can show you one of the elements, which is a more final version of this effect, which is very volumetric. It's pretty cool. I can show you where Magneto comes into Cerebro, and this is interactively where the animators work. And what he does in this shot is come in and he moves tiles around with his power. This is kind of what it looks like when you play it back. Then when we go, this is a very rough shaded version of it just to get the timing of the animation. Then what we do is we do various different passes. This is a version of that to give it more shading. You can see here, to give it a more, start to get a more realistic feel in it. And then here is kind of it, the way it kind of looks all put together at the final stage. Yeah, so that's Cerebro.